Hey YouTube, welcome to the Comic Book Community 411, and my special guest is Bloop Comics. Bloop, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So before we get into the questions, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your channel?
Yeah, I've been doing YouTube for about 3 years. In October, it'll be four, but I've been only doing comic book videos for like a year and a half or so. I've been collecting for a while. I was collecting before I started YouTube, and I don't know, just like everyone else in this comic book community, he's got a passion for comics and wants to share it.
Hmm, cool.
Yeah,
So, and that's really my first question. How did you get into, collecting? What got you started?
yeah. Well, I guess like I've always been introduced like interested in superheroes and stuff. And like I love that idea of just a superhero, especially Batman. Like people that are just humans who can do all these things. So I mean, I was always drawn to that idea, but collecting itself, I really got into that maybe 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. I would go to Comic Cons as a kid, and I mean I was with my dad, and uh, you know I didn't really find anything interesting then, but eventually inherited a collection from my uncle, and it wasn't anything crazy. It was just your average '90s Darkhawk Sleepwalker. It wasn't anything crazy, but it kind of sparked the interest of collecting more. And then as I got older, and now it's just my own thing right now, and I do it all myself. And I just love going to comic shops and just spending hours in the dollar bins and the back bins, and just I love that. So it really started. It really was sparked by inheriting that collection from my uncle, and just yeah, collecting.
That's cool. That's great. So there's a family connection because it sounds like maybe your dad collects and your uncle collected. So
Yeah, yeah. So they did some collecting. I don't believe they collect now at all. That's why I'm doing this myself with the YouTube channel and stuff. But yeah, that's what really kind of set me on that path.
okay. So what made you make the leap? And I looked back at some of your channel, some of your really older videos, and it looks like you were doing more like, gaming and things like, Minecraft and some other things prior to comic books. So then what made you say, all right, I want to do comic book, um, videos on YouTube?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, for me, I like my passion for comics is like at the same level as my passion for YouTube. I love making videos and entertaining people just as much as I love collecting. So I was always interested in doing YouTube as well. So once I found that once I really started to get into collecting, and like that was, really started to get into it during the pandemic. Like that was
Hmm.
when I started going harder. And that's when I was like, hey, maybe I'll do some YouTube videos on it. And then once I saw some, a little bit of growth, I got involved with the community. One of the first YouTubers I started watching was Very Gary, and just started getting into all this. And then I was like, I want to do all this. I don't really want to do the gaming videos anymore. I want to do all comics. And then, yeah, that's where I really made the jump. It's just once I got
Okay.
involved with the community.
So kind of narrowed your focus from doing other things and just focused on comics.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And now, do you consider YouTube your favorite or your biggest platform? Because I know you're on Instagram and I know you're on TikTok and a few others. So, is do you feel like YouTube's your main?
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel that YouTube is honestly like I see it like almost not really as a social media at this point. Like it's like a website. It's just gonna go. It's just gonna keep growing and growing and growing. And I think it's gonna be a great like everyone's. It's like a search engine almost. Like if I have a problem, I'll immediately YouTube it instead of Google it. At least
Right.
that's me. But so
Yeah. No. And I've done that. That's how I kind of started my YouTube channel. Was I pandemic? I started to go back and look at some of my old books that I had and seeing what they were worth, and I was starting to sell some of them on eBay, and about maybe a week or so in, I made my first sale and realized, oh no, I have to ship this book now, and I'm not really sure how to ship it properly. Knew obviously I didn't want it to be damaged, and
yes,
so I went to YouTube and searched how to ship a comic book because I would figure I'd get a video with step by steps, and I learned about Gemini mailers and or you could press it between cardboard and using painter's tape and things like that. So and then that stumbled me on to other comic book channels, and then eventually watching more and more, then I said, well, maybe I could start my own channel, and it's kind of like the rabbit hole you fall into.
yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of good creators. Yeah, but to answer your question about which one I do the most, definitely YouTube. And I do have a bigger following on TikTok, I guess, but my comments were taken away, which sucks. And I don't know how to get them back. So I
Oh,
kind of
really?
stopped there. But even so, I mean, there's people on TikTok with like millions of followers, but they'll have like 100K on YouTube. And then like I know a guy who has 400K on TikTok, but only 2K on YouTube. So the ratio is really different. And I
Right.
think that even though I have a bigger following on TikTok, like the YouTube one's more important to me. You know, it's a better
Okay.
community. It's stronger. It's yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm not on TikTok. I don't really use TikTok. It's just I'd rather not have another social media platform that I have to watch or manage. So, but I mean, like Instagram for me, I have much, I have probably a couple thousand followers on Instagram, and not so many on YouTube. But yeah, different, different kind of platforms. So.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what about a character or a comic book? If you had control, if you could reboot one or rewrite one, who would you try to tackle?
If I could reboot one, I'd probably do. Oh well, are we talking comics or movies? Like,
Um, either or.
all right. Well, I got an answer for both, I guess. So for the Fantastic Four, I would definitely reboot the movies. I mean, that needs to be done correctly. A good Doctor Doom, a good Fantastic Four lineup. I mean, I would love to have that. So that in terms of movies, I would definitely do Fantastic Four because I feel like once they have a really solid Fantastic Four movie, they're going to be taken seriously again. Like I feel like right now, Fantastic Four to your average Joe who just watches movies will probably say like Fantastic Four are kind of lame. They're not,
Mm,
that interesting.
yeah,
Um, which could easily be said for the Guardians of the Galaxy and like comics or something. But now that they've been portrayed really cool and funny on screen, people like them. And yeah, so I definitely do Fantastic Four and really try to reshape how people look at them, like average viewers. Because to
right.
us comic collectors, we love the Fantastic Four, but it's different for people who are just watching the movies, which I don't blame
Yeah,
them.
no, that's an interesting point because the movies have not been good with the Fantastic Four. So yeah, your person who doesn't collect comic books probably kind of thinks they're kind of a goof or a joke based on the movies.
Yeah. And then for like just a character I could reboot or at least get to work on for fun would be Darkhawk. I don't know why he's always been a favorite. I think I told you I inherited my uncle's collection. It was all 90s books. So the first comic book I ever read was Darkhawk 1 and
Yeah.
then
Okay.
that little volume. So I like Darkhawk and I think he is kind of a meme because it's like that stereotypical 90s character.
Right.
But it's still like a character I think would be fun to make cooler and because he kind of has a special place in my heart at this
Yeah.
point. So yeah, just it would be fun to work on his character and make some villains for him, and yeah, that'd be fun.
Did you read the recent? So it was probably maybe last year when they kind of did a limited series or a little run. Actually, I don't even know if that book. I think it was 3 or 4 issues, and I don't know if that was supposed to be an ongoing series or just a limited series. But there was
Yeah,
a recent Dark Hawk.
I think it was called like Heart of the Hawk or something. I don't know. I think I know what you're talking about. I'm pretty sure I bought it, but I haven't read it. I'm
Hmm. Okay.
crazy behind on reading. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know my pile is ever growing.
Yep.
Um, so, what about something that you don't like, whether in the comic book community on YouTube or in collecting comics in general, like something that's kind of a negative or dislike of yours?
Hmm. Something that I don't like. I mean, I guess that's. I mean, this is just gonna be. It's gonna be a universal answer, but definitely, sellers and buyers who probably aren't too honest with their grades and their method of shipping and things like that. It's kind of a boring answer, but it's definitely something that still needs to be taken care of. I feel it's definitely a big problem right now in the comic book community.
Hmm.
I've received books that are just like in the weirdest like forms of shipment. It's just like one layer of bubble wrap in like a giant box, and it's crazy. And I've received really good sellers who I buy like $1 book, and it's like it could carry like a diamond in it. Like
Right.
it's great. But definitely like there's some sellers out there who are just not as honest as they should be. And I think it's just it's going to be a problem. I don't really know how you solve that, but it's definitely a problem. And I think I was watching Journalist Comics and Pop Culture. He was talking about this, and he said that it's going to be the year of honesty for collectors, and I think I agree with that. I think it should definitely be the year of honesty. I think it should be the year where we take accountability for even buyers, you know. But yeah, I think that would be the biggest problem for me.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, there certainly is. You know, I've purchased stuff on, you know, through Whatnot and eBay, and like you said, there's sometimes you get like a very inexpensive book and a Gemini mailer and bubble wrap, and then there's times you'll buy an expensive book and it's, you know, in a sheet of bubble wrap in a, you know, floppy mailer. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, yeah, it is kind of like the Wild West out there. You really don't know, you know, what you may get. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. That was a good answer. Um, so what about, you know, what plans do you have? What, you know, what's your future plans for YouTube or collecting? You know, I know you recently, you know, made an announcement you're going to try to do some different things on your channel. So you know, what direction are you planning on heading in?
Yeah, I basically, so you know, people who know my channel will know, like, I do spec videos, you know, that's what I'm most known for. I mean, ever since, like, I think my first comic book video was a spec video, you know? And I think I mentioned this in my video, like, I was doing the gaming videos for a while, and those were hitting like 30 to 40 views. And then I did a comic book spec video, and this was during like WandaVision time, where it was really hot. All the books were blowing up due to WandaVision, and all the hype was really circulating. And so I made a spec video, and it did really well. I got like 700 views within like the first week or so. Okay. And I kind of got hooked on those views, you know, and I kind of stuck to it. It was fun for a while. It's not like I was like a nonstop like torture fest where I hated making these videos. I liked it. I mean, it was fun at times, but I just kind of got bored of it, and I wanted to try some new stuff. And I kept telling myself I'd do new things for a while, but I never really did. But yeah, I was just like, all right, now it's probably a good time. I got time right now to do some fun videos. So that's what I've been doing. I made the announcement. I have a video coming out soon, but it's just more towards entertainment almost. And I might have like spec videos here and there, but I will say, like, I don't want to spoil any videos that I'm making, but they're like more challenge videos, you know, like some challenging things that collectors might not think about. Like, is that really possible? Can you do that? So I'm trying to create those, like, there's no way he did that kind of, you know, reactions to videos. Yeah, exactly.
So something, some intriguing videos, right?
Exactly. Yeah, just things that people aren't familiar with seeing in the comic book community, you know.
But you know, I mean, I certainly can relate. You know, if you produce a video, a spec video, and it does well, well, then you try it again. If that one does well, then why not follow that formula if it's working? And if you like you said, if you're enjoying it, then you know you might as well continue that. I found your spec videos very interesting because, you know, you're a young collector, right? You've only been collecting for a couple years, or, you know, 5, 6 years, whatever it is. And, you know, most of the other YouTubers that I see do spec are older collectors, you know, who've been in a little bit, who have more experience than you. So I always found your videos interesting because I like to hear it from your perspective, right? You're a younger collector. You're going to have a different perspective than me, as somebody who's been collecting for a longer period of time, who's older. So, you know, that's one of the things that I really liked about the spec videos that you were doing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I guess, like, I should say, like, even though I was like, I like those views, but I'm still doing all the research. You know, I'm still putting in the work. I should mention that. But yeah, I appreciate that. I don't know if I have my own perspective on it. I guess kind of. I mean, I always like to look at the cheaper books because I personally collect on a budget as a younger person, or a younger collector. Don't have the big budget of $1,000 to go buy keys, right? So I always looked at it that way. But yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, and that's good. That, you know, I mean, even as an older collector, I'm sticking to a budget too, trying to, right? You know, there's only so much, you know, spare money that I have that I can spend on books. So, you know, it's important to be, you know, mindful of how you're spending it. So,
yeah.
So, all right. Well, that was the questions. So those are all the questions that I had. But my last question is always a random question. So I have a list of 50 questions. So what I ask the guests to do is just give me a number, 1 through 50, wherever we land. That'll be the next question I ask you.
Okay. So I just say number 1 through 50?
Yeah, give me, whatever number.
All right, let's say 42.
42. All right, this is an interesting question. What is something you probably should do but will never do?
Ooh, I don't know. Organize my collection. Let's say that, or catch up on reading. Definitely that. I mean, I should be doing it, but I mean, I don't want to say I'll never because you know, I
Yeah, I
probably
spent some time this afternoon organizing my collection, then I realized like I have a bunch of short boxes, and they're pretty much stuffed, and now I have to move them to different, because there's some active series that I'm collecting, and so now I have to move to a long, like I have a lot of rearrange to do. So,
yeah,
collecting is not only reading, it's like organizing, and there's a lot to it. So,
100%. It's yeah, I attempted to organize my collection the other day. I got like a short box and a half done. Like I did like half a long box and a short box. It was I mean, I found some good stuff. It's just sometimes it's just more fun to just go and spend the money and go look and hunt and buy.
right.
So I get distracted when it comes to that part.
Yeah, it's much better, digging through new bins and finding new stuff as opposed to organizing the stuff you already own.
Of course, yeah.
So, all
Yeah.
right, well, that was it. You made it through all of the questions.
Awesome.
Do you have, anything else you want to tell us about your channel or what you have? I know you don't want to spoil too much about what's upcoming, but anything else that you want to share about yourself or your channel?
Um, yeah, I think I said all I need to for the channel. I've got some new stuff coming, so you got to go check that out, subscribe, and all that. But I also have been working on my Discord server a lot recently. So if anyone's watching who has Discord, I highly recommend to go join that. The link is on my channel. But yeah, I'm going to be doing some really fun stuff on that. I'm thinking about doing some like Kahoot streams where you do trivia and then you can win. I don't know, maybe I'll do a real book or a new role in the Discord server. But yeah, lots to come in the Discord server. That's what I've been working on a lot, aside from videos. So yeah, I mean, that would be the one thing I have to promote, I guess.
Okay. Well, I'll leave a link, the link for your channel and your Instagram and TikTok, and we'll add the Discord server as well. Link down in the description. So if anybody wants to join, or if anybody's watching and is not familiar with Bloop, you definitely got to go check out his channel. I'm a big fan of supporting the younger collectors because you guys are the future of collecting, and so yourself. The Hidden Gem is another channel that I enjoy watching. Otto Talks Comics is another channel. Younger guy, and I think it's important that the community supports you younger guys that are into the hobby because like I said, you're the future of it. I mean, you're doing it now, but hopefully you'll continue to do it for years to come. So
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
well, I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, links down below. If you're not familiar, please go sub Bloop Up. And thanks very much for being on the show.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks everyone. Thanks for watching, and have a good night.